Hello guys, and once again welcome to RAD. We have been discussing game categories in this series, and this is episode 4. If you had missed the previous episodes, I am putting up the link above. You can check out all the other episodes from our channel page also. Today's video is a little different from the other ones so far. We talk about a category of game which quite essentially is the apex of what gaming has grown over the years. This category has evolved from several other genres of games, and I would call it the hybrid of gaming categories, which brought together the good elements of all other categories into one. Today's episode is about role-playing games or RPGs. Let's start with the basic definition first. What is an RPG game? The basic RPG will have us take control of a character and we play through main and side quests, and the emphasis is on character building. We are awarded with experience points or some similar attribute, and we keep on leveling up as we go. We gain perks or abilities every time we level up, and we use these to further improve our character. We play the role of this character in a world filled with adventures, and you create your own stories as you go.
New in town, I'm making friends, alright? A lot of friends. I mean, things could get really messy.
A good RPG game will always have a very good narrative and a lot of conversations with characters in the world. Sometimes the narrative will involve multiple characters we can take control of, with different traits and skill progressions. RPGs are inspired from board games like Dungeons and Dragons, and I believe it has more to do with strategy and character building than reflexes and eye-hand coordination. We can classify RPGs regionally as Western RPGs and Eastern RPGs. Western as in gaming industry in America, Europe, etc., and Eastern as in Japan and Asian developers.
Your money or your life. You're smarter than you look.
The first RPG video game to come out was Dragon Stomper, which came out in Atari console in 1982. In the Western gaming industry, RPGs got a trend in the later years when games like Ultima, Wizardry, Diablo, Might and Magic, etc. became the best-selling titles. Like the buzz in the Western countries, RPGs were gaining a lot of fans in the eastern part of the world also. Japan was a huge gaming industry back then, and it continues till date. Names like Final Fantasy, Zelda, Dragon Quest still make their waves around the world 40 years later. The cultural differences were evident in these games. Also, the Western RPGs were more dark and gritty, where the JRPGs or Japanese RPGs were more pleasant and vibrant. There had been several criticisms and cultural issues regarding the West and East versions, but the fan following of RPGs was growing gradually over the years. This takes me to the point where I said RPGs are hybrid of many other gaming categories. There are a lot of subcategories in RPGs, and more new ones are coming up every now and then. I would like to mention some of the important ones. Action RPGs are the kind which has a strong focus on combat. The core story and the world will be focused on your character. There might be choices you can make to change or alter the storyline. Action RPGs can be first person or third person, and most of them are set in an open world environment. Some typical examples will be Witcher 3, Cyberpunk 2077, and Legend of Zelda. Next type is massively online multiplayer RPGs or MMORPGs. This involves huge worlds with a lot of gamers connected online, doing quests alone or together. There would be a player versus enemy or player versus player system in place. A lot of the focus will be on loot, team building, and each player might have multiple characters he can log in with. Typical examples would be World of Warcraft, EVE Online, Destiny, and Warframe. TRPG or tactical RPG games are the ones which will have turn-based combat system in place and a huge focus on character development. Combat levels can sometimes be like chessboards, with players taking turns to plan and execute combat actions. A lot of Japanese RPGs have implemented this type of systems, and some good examples of TRPGs are XCOM, Divinity series, and Year Zero Mutant 1. Another category is Rogue RPG or RRPG. These are the games that has RPG elements of character progression but will have randomly generated levels with permadeath. If you die, you start from the beginning and run through again. These games challenges the gamer every time with randomly generated new levels and pushes them further to improve the character through the reruns. Examples will be Hades, The Binding of Isaac, Spelunky, and Celeste.
The only limit to what you can do is what you're willing to become.
Now RPG games have evolved much, and the newest games coming out brings together multiple aspects like first person or third person gameplay, RPG character progression, open world environments, strategy game elements, loot, powers and whatnot. That is why I said RPGs are a hybrid of many other game categories, and it brings together a lot of the characteristics from others. My love for RPGs began with games like Knights of the Old Republic 2 and Mass Effect series, and my favorite RPG remains Witcher 3 and Final Fantasy 7. What is your favorite? Do mention it in the comments. As usual, I am putting down my list of best RPGs in the description, and I guarantee each of it has around 100 hours of gameplay for you. I will catch you all in the next episode with another category of games. Do subscribe to us if you like the content we are putting up, and press the bell icon so that you don't miss any of our new videos. This is Rakesh once again signing off. Happy gaming.